A very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the Time for Revolution and for Digital Transformation with Asset Information Management webinar. First and foremost, we would like to say thank you very much for joining us today. For your information, this is a webcast event. Therefore, it will be in a listen mode only. If you have any questions, feel free to type your question in the question section. We will answer your question during the Q&A session. If we can't answer on time, we will answer your question via the email. This is a recorded session and the recording will be published in our website and our YouTube channel. Without further ado, let me introduce Jenna to the stage. Jenna, over to you.
Thank you, Takif. Hi, a very good morning to everyone, and thank you for your time, taking the time to join our webinar today. So this time around, we will be sharing with you on one of our solutions, asset information management, and how it will benefit your maintenance team and company. So now, before that, let me introduce to you the speakers of today. All right, so the speakers of today is, my name is Jenna. So I'm the Sales and Marketing Manager from EDMS Consultants. So with me here today is Shah. Shah is our Senior Application Consultant. She will be the one that will be providing the first session's demo. And also Takif, our Application Consultant, where he will be demonstrating the second session's demo. All right, so now before we start, here's the agenda for today. So I will be sharing with you an overview of EDMS and also our services. From there, I will share with you more on what asset information management is all about. And I will share with you the scenario of the first session on how to manage your own operated asset. Then we'll go to the question and answer. We will have a 5-minute break before we go to our second session where we will be talking about demonstrating on how you're able to manage your lease assets. Before we end the webinar, we will have question and answer. All right, so now EDMS's overview. EDMS overview. So we have been in the industry for more than 20 years. So EDMS consultants, we bring the best domain, experience in your asset lifecycle, your asset information lifecycle management in services and solutions with, of course, the right practices to ensure that our clients' data, content, and also their business processes continuously improve and sustain. Our main focus is to ensure that we provide our clients with increased productivity, efficiency, and profitability whilst reducing their operational risk. All right, so throughout the years, we have extensive experience in the following verticals, as you can see, in oil and gas, engineering, manufacturing, power utilities, ports infrastructure, and also banking and healthcare. In Malaysia, we are a registered vendor for Petronas, Ministry of Finance, TNB, and Telecom, and EDMS Consultants, we are known as a regional solution provider in the Asia-Pacific region, not only providing our services and solutions in Malaysia, but we also provide in Thailand, Vietnam, Philippines, Singapore, Brunei, Indonesia, Australia, and more. Okay, so in terms of our services, these are our main 4 focus services. As you can see here, professional ICT consultancy and support is more to us having, providing consultation to our client to see which solution would best fit them, whether it is records management system, whether it's a document management system, or like today, asset information management system. We also provide one of our services, which is HR consultancy and talent acquisition, risk safety, environmental services, and also asset management services and asset management solution. Throughout the years, these are our overall clients for all of our services. But if we were to look at our digital transformation clients, these are our clients. So here is where our clients actually switch their ways of work from having to deal and manage, their SOP manually with Excel sheet or even like hard copy printing and storage, having it all of their processes automated and going paperless. All right, so now I'm going to introduce to you on what is Asset Information Management System. So AIM helps you to manage unstructured content related to enterprise assets and maintenance processes over the complete asset lifecycle. And not only that, it also allows you and your team to have a more efficient collaboration experience when in asset-related projects. So therefore, an asset information management solution actually helps to improve the reliability and also safety in production, will help to reduce your downtime and your outages in your plant. All right. So over here, as you can see, to manage your asset lifecycle, it does not only involve your CMMS solution, also known as a computerized maintenance management system, but it is also involving your ERP and your DMS system. Why? Because these different systems in your company stores different information related to your assets. Hence, it is key that you find a solution that is flexible and friendly enough to integrate and also sync between your CMMS, your ERP, and DMS. So as you can see over here, this block diagram is actually a perfect example on how AIM, Asset Information Management Solution, can actually help transform your business journey towards Industry 4.0. All right, so let's talk about the scenario. So when it comes to, so when it's time for your asset to go for its, weekly, monthly, or even quarterly maintenance, with an AIM solution, it will trigger a maintenance notification based on how you set up your asset monitoring trigger, whether it's from your date, time, sensors, and etc. So once the maintenance has been triggered in the CMMS, of course, the next step is to create a work order, where prior to having the asset marked offline, you are required to check the inventory to see if the spare part is available or not. Should the inventory be out of stock, you will need to order the spare part. So in order for you to actually create an order, here is where you are required to go to your ERP purchasing module, where you have to submit the purchase requisition up to the to the tender up until the payment. So once the payment has been completed, as you can see, all of the information related to that particular asset, whether it is the purchase, the material specification, PO, contract, etc., will be linked to your document management system. Now, after the spare part material is received and the inventory quantity has been updated, you will then be able to go through your shutdown processing. Prior to start on the inspection or the failure analysis or even replacement of your spare parts, your maintenance team would need information on the asset to understand what needs to be done. So like for an example, like the work description, or maybe the checklist or the permit to work or even the technical specs. So all of these asset documentations can be found in your document management system, which is linked to your CMMS. So once all the work has been completed, you can now start up the processing of having the asset back online. So the digitalization of this can be done with the right solution, such as AIM. All right. So next is the features of asset information management is that in terms of asset management system, here is where it will assist you in terms of your work order management and also your inventory management. In terms of your information management system, here is where it will help you to go for a paperless journey. It centralizes all of your document repository. It stores and manages your documents based on metadata properties. It has audit trail and also document history. Aside from that, also in terms of automated business process management, it helps to process your automation and mapping, and also it automates your workflow. Not only that, asset information management solution also is known as to provide you with a collaborative platform. Okay, now we'll go to the benefits. So the benefits of having an AIM solution is that this solution is a cloud-based solution, so it is easy for you to implement and manage. It has offline availability, so you do not need to worry. So for an example, if you're required to do some work and that particular place, that particular site has no internet connection, worry not. You can just do your work normally, and once you are back online, it will automatically sync to your system. It also provides you rights management and it increases your range time. So what we mean by this is that it improves the productivity and reduces the time taken for your maintenance or your technician team to find the resources they need, such as the tools, manuals, and also spare parts to get the work order completed. Aside from that, it also helps to centralize all of your documents. you'll have easy access to the updated content, because everything that is shown in the system is only the updated content. It improves your accountability and communication. It has an effective maintenance audit and also work mobility, whereby you are able to access the system via web or your mobile app. Aside from that, AIM solution also enhances your security. It increases your asset performance by planning your preventive maintenance scheduling, which at the end of the day helps you reduce your asset downtime and emergency breakdown. It helps to eliminate information redundancy and improves your regulatory compliance. All right, so now the first session for today, whereby we will be demonstrating on an installation of an overhead crane. So ABC Senjang Berhad is in the food manufacturing industry, where they would like to install a new 0.5-ton overhead crane at the unloading station in their site. So in this demo, we will showcase the overall process of how the operation team handles the operation installation with two connected systems, which is the CMMS and the DMS. So we will go for the demo today. Over to you, Shah.
In this demo, we will be focusing on how you can manage a project in a CMMS, which will be using fixed CMMS, and store all the reference documents and your permit to work approval in Mfiles. So one of the biggest challenges our customer face when managing a project is lack of visibility. So in this demo, we will start with initiating a project in Fix, where all your work orders will be created and stored. And then we will go through the approval process of permit to work, which relates to the project created in Fix, and finding the documents such as your warranty certificates, your drawings for that particular asset in our DMS, which is Mfiles. All right. Before I begin with the demo, let me introduce you to our CMMS solution, which is Fix. So Fix here, as you can see, is known as one and only AI computerized maintenance management system in the market. So this system will help you to manage your asset, your maintenance work order, your project inventory, and also provide you with analytic features such as part forecaster and work order insights. So as you can see here, we have the maintenance module where you have all your work orders, the asset module where you have the list of your assets, and also your asset historical data. The supply module, all your inventory records, the purchasing module, and the report section where it will give you provide analytic features such as, like mentioned, such as a part forecaster, work order insight. So we will be focusing on the project features, which you can manage a project from the system. So the concept of project in Fix is a great way to group your schedule maintenance and your work order together. So coupled with some of the project reports that is built in the CMMS, you can easily keep tabs on the work being carried out and the cost involved with these individual work orders and the project as a whole. So if you can see, these are the list of projects that we have created using our fixed CMMS. And the one that I would like to show you is this one, 0.5-ton overhead crane installation. So when I click on this project, it will bring me to this project page where you will have the information of the project, the projected dates, and the actual dates of the project. As a project manager, I have created a schedule maintenance, the list of schedule maintenance created during this project, throughout this project duration. So if you can see, I have created schedule maintenance based on the project milestone. All right. For example, I have created schedule maintenance for my overhead crane installation. I have created schedule maintenance for my acceptance test and handover activities. If you can, work order, all these work order is actually, all these schedule maintenance will be generated automatically by Fix when the trigger is hit. Okay, so basically, schedule maintenance is any task that is given a deadline and assigned to a technician. So it can either be a recurring task done at a regular interval or a one-time task. So for this case, for this demo, it is a one-time task. So the purpose of having a schedule maintenance in a project is to allow you to better allocate your resources in a cost-effective and efficient manner. So when I go into the work order tab here, it will list out all the work orders that have been created for this project. All right. So if you can see work order 50436, 50437, and 50439, this work order was generated from the schedule maintenance that I have shown you just now. As for work order 50438, this work order was created automatically based on the result from work order 50437. So when I click this work order, it will bring me to the details of that work order. So like I mentioned, this work order was created based on this work order 50437. So you can see that the information of the origin of the work order. And under the summary of issue, you can see the reason why fix trigger this work order. It is because the inspection done in this work order 50437 has failed, and due to that, fix will generate this work order as a follow-on work order. So that it, and then you will notify the person in charge of the project for this work order, right? So going back here, so under this technician tab, this is where you can allocate your person in charge of this project. So this person in charge will be receiving all the notification on the work orders related to this project. So file tab here, this is what we want to focus on, is it will where you will able to attach your file, put in some links and notes related to this project. So for some project, you may need an approved permit to work before you can start with the execution space. So as you can see here, I have a link where this permit to work is located. So this link is actually this link actually will bring you to this permit to work, which is stored in our DMS, which is Mfile. So when I click on this link, you will be prompted to whether to open this in Mfile Desktop. So when I click Mfile Desktop, it will open that document in Mfiles. So these are the permit to work which is linked to our project in the CMMS. So when I expand this green file, I can see the document for that permit to work. So this is the metadata card that is tagged to this document. So this is the document in the PDF version and also in the native file version, right? So before I talk further on Mfile, let me just introduce you a bit on Mfiles. So Mfiles is an intelligent information management platform that helps companies make smart connection across the business and automate critical business processes. So while at the same time, it's keeping all the information secured and controlled. So aside from acting as your document repository, Mfiles also has a built-in workflow function which we are going to use for our permit to work approval. As for now, you can see that our permit to work has been closed, means that this project has been completed. So let me bring you to the list of the permit to work that we have created in the system. So if you can see, these two are permit to work created and been sent for approval. So we will be using the second permit to work here as our example in this demo. So you can see that this permit to work is currently sent for approval. It's currently sent for approval. So this permit to work, if you expand this permit to work, you can see that this permit to work has been sent for the operation manager for approval. So let me log in as the operation manager and let me just refresh this. Okay, you can see this is these are the assignment assigned to the operation manager, which will be reflected under the assigned to me area. So um, when the operation manager receives this permit to work assignment, what he needs to do is he will require to review the assignment and the permit to work, where he can find this permit to work by expanding this assignment. So this the permit to work document will be attached together with the assignment assigned to the operation manager. So this is the document attached. So the user who receives the document can view the document from the preview section here, or if they need to make any amendment or required to edit this document, the user will require to double click this document to check out and edit the document. So I'm going to check out this permit to work, and I make some edits, edit some information in this document, and save and check in back to Mfile. So once you have checked in back the document, it means that you have allowed other users to view the document and edit the document. All right, so me as Alex, the operation manager, I will proceed to approve this permit to work. So how I can approve this permit to work in Mfiles is I can just mark this assignment as completed, save, and then this electronic signature will prompt where you were required to key in your Mfile credential in order to proceed approving this permit to work electronically. All right, so I'm just going to key in my password. All right, so now going back to the permit to work, and I'm gonna click refresh. Okay, we go back to this view. You can see that this is the permit to work has been approved since Alex has approved this permit to work. So once it is approved, you can see that under in the metadata card, under the electronic signature properties, you can see that Andy Nash has reviewed at the first stage of this approval process, and Alex Kramer has approved this permit to work, where when it is approved, the person in charge of creating this permit to work will receive a notification. So once he received the notification, the next thing in this process flow is for that person in charge to create a work order for the project execution phase in Fix. So going back to Fix. So for example, like I am the project manager who's in charge of this project. I have received a notification saying that my permit to work has approved. So I have to go back to Fix. Under my work orders module, I can create a new work order for my project execution by clicking the new button here. But I have created one work order beforehand. All right, so this is how the work order looks like. So you were required to fill in information such as the work order status, the maintenance type, the assets, and also link this work order to the project that we have created in the project module. So we have the suggested completion date, we have the summary of issue, and also the work instruction for the technician James to complete this work order. So once James has completed this work order, he will require to close this work order by change the work order status to close completed and update some notes in the completion note. By clicking save, it means that this work order has been closed and completed, and when we go back to the work order list, that work order will be removed from the active list of this work order. So going back to Mfile. So once we have completed this project, going back to Mfiles, the person in charge of this project will require to close this permit to work. So how he can close this permit to work is from Mfiles, he will require to change the workflow of this permit to work to update the permit to work with the latest information of the project. So this permit to work is currently under the state of update PTW. So since I am the one who creating this permit to work, so I will be receiving the assignment to update the permit to work. So let me just refresh, give it a while. All right. So once this permit tool has been edited, has been updated, the person in charge of update it will require to send for a review to close this work order. Sorry, to close this permit to work. So this permit to work is sent to the first level of approval, the safety team who were required to review this permit to work. So as a safety team, as Andy Nash, the safety team, he will receive the permit to work to close. He will require to review the permit to work in order to close this permit to work. Same as what Alex has need to do just now. He need to expand this assignment, and he will see the permit to work attached to this assignment, and then he will require to mark as completed and key in his Mfiles credential in order to approve this permit to work. All right. So once I refresh, you can see that the current status of this permit to work, give it a while, currently is sent for approval, means that it is sent to the operation manager for approval. Give it a while. All right, so this is it. Sorry, so this is it. All right, so Alex will receive this permit to work to close. So when he viewed this document, from the preview button here, you can see that this is all good. So what he needs to do is he will require to approve this permit to work. All right, let me just refresh. Okay, so going back to my permit to work screen. All right, let me just refresh this. You can see that the permit to work here has been closed and it is converted to a PDF. So this is what we can do in Mfiles workflow, where we can determine what's going to happen at the end of the workflow, what's going to happen to that document, whether we want to remain it as a native file, as its original file type, or do we want to convert it to a PDF. So in this case, we have converted that native file into a PDF, and then it has been closed. All right. So aside from having your document, aside from having a permit to work in your fixed CMMS, we can also add other documents. So going back to the project, we also can add another document, for example, like a crane drawing. So if I click this open, it will open in Mfiles. So this is the crane drawings that we have uploaded in Mfiles and linked it in Fix. So when I expand this multifile document, called multifile document, you can see, sorry, this is the permit to work. It's the correct one. Yeah. All right, so if I expand this multi-file document, I can see all the drawings related to this project, and this drawing has been approved. So you can save any files, any file types, any size of the files in Mfiles. All right, so if you have the proprietary software installed in your laptop, where you have your Mfiles client desktop, you can view that document, or you can view that file in the preview section. For example, if I have this one in the CAT version, so if I click preview, you can view that document in here, since I have the proprietary software installed in my laptop. Right? Okay. So you going back to the fixed CMMS. So aside from having a document link in the project page here, you can also link your document in the asset record page. So I'm going to go into the asset management module and look for my crane. Done. Click on this record, it will bring you to the record of the asset. So where you have all the historical data of this asset and all the information related to this asset. So we are going to look into the file tabs where I have the warranty certificates document in the file section where I have added the link where when I click open, it will bring me to Mfile where I have keep all this warranty in the repository, which is Mfiles. All right, so this is the document in Mfiles. Right. All right, so the benefit of having this combined solution is that by connecting your CMMS and your DMS, for example, PICS and Mfiles, you can have a unified solution. So in a CMMS, even though you can store your document in the system, but like you can upload your document in the file tab, but then there is a size limit when you uploaded it. So by having all the documents in your DMS such as Mfiles, like I mentioned that you can upload any file size, any file type, and then you can link those documents to your CMMS like what I have shown you in this demo. So yeah, I think that should be it for this first session demo. If you have any questions, you can type your question in the question box and then we'll be answering it during our Q&A session. All right, Jana, back to you.
Thank you, Shah. All right, so before we go for our 5 minutes break, so for the first session, does anyone have any questions based on the demo that Shah has just demonstrated? Please feel free to type in your questions and we will be happy to, answer them. So we'll give it like around 2 minutes to see if anyone has any questions. All right, so I think for the first session, I believe the session was clear, and I think no one has any questions at this moment. So if that is the case, we are going to go for our 5 minutes break. So take this time to stretch yourself, make yourself a drink or so, and then we will continue with our second session. All right then. Welcome back, everyone. So for the second session, we will be talking about leased assets. So Takif will be demonstrating a scenario where DEF Group Sdn Berhad is a heavy vehicle leasing company where they lease their heavy equipment to their clients, such as their forklifts, their mobile crane, their genset, and more. So in this demo, we will showcase on how the company manages their end-to-end process from equipment request up to equipment maintenance. Over to you, Takif.
All right, thank you very much, Jenna. Let me share my screen in a moment. All right. All right, so as mentioned, so for today's session, so for this session, I will be showing you on how you can actually manage your lease request by using our unified solution. So we will be starting off from the request submission itself by using Hubshare, and then we will be managing the approval process via Mfiles, and then at the same time we will be using Fix to manage our maintenance data. All right, so what are you looking at now is actually Hubshare. So Hubshare is a collaborative tool where you can work with your external parties like your customers or your suppliers. So in this case, this Hubshare is owned by the owner, like for instance, the F group. All right. Can you hear my voice?
Yes, we can.
All right. Okay. So assuming that I am the client, I will be logging into Hubshare to submit my request. Right. So yep. So right. So this is how it looks like in Hubshare. So as I mentioned earlier, this is actually provided by the owner. So as the owner, I can design my Hubshare according to my business requirements. So in this case, I have designed my Hubshare so that my client can submit the lease request. Right. So basically, as the client, I can see the first thing. Of course, I can see all the asset list and all the information, all the required information, and at the same time, I can also provide some sort of widget, and this widget can be customized, right? So it can fit to your business use case. All right. So for instance, for this demo, I will submit one request. Right? For instance, I would say the request summary is for internal project, and I can have my client to choose which kind of asset or equipment that they wanted to lease. They wanted to use. So for instance, like a mobile crane. Then let's say I wanted to use that from starting from 4th of April up until 4th of June. All right. And then I can just click create. Right. And you can also provide a widget so that your client can track their request. So if I just click refresh button here, and you can see that there is one new record, which is the one that we have created earlier. And the best thing is that you can actually see the state, which is request submitted. All right, so that is how one of the way you can use Hubshare to submit the request. And now we will, as I mentioned earlier, once you have submitted the request, it will then send to Mfiles. All right, so let's say that I am the one should be attending the new request. So I will be logging the Hubshare as the admins. So if I just click refresh, right, and then in Mfiles, this is what we call as views, and views is actually configured by the properties that we have defined, right? So for instance, if I wanted to see all the requests that have been, all the list requests that have been submitted, then I can just click this view because we have configured it so that it can only shows the list request. So if I double click this particular view, and if I expand this one, you can see that this is actually the new list request that we have submitted earlier, and the current state is request submitted. So if I just if I click on this particular object, and if I expand it, all right, let me give it a moment. All right, so if I expand that particular metadata card, as you can see that it will show you the list of properties. All right, so this list of property is basically can be defined, and you can pretty much include any properties that you think might be relevant for your business requirement. And as you can see here as well, there is an assignment description. So in Mfiles, we have this assignment feature where you can assign maybe an approval task to someone. All right, so in this case, this assignment, it mentioned that I need to move the request into the next step. All right, so this is our list request workflow. We have the workflow in Mfiles. So let me just move it to the next steps, which is check availability, and then I just click save. Right. So if you can see here, the state is actually changed to check availability, and there is a new description. And it mentioned here that I need to check asset availability and maintenance activity in Fix. All right. So yeah, of course, we need to check and fix for the availability. So I will go back into Fix as the admin. All right. So let me just log into Fix as the admin. All right. So this is how it looks like when you access Fix. This is the very first page. Fix is actually our CMMS. Right. So in this dashboard, it's pretty much all the basic things. You can pretty much understand what's going on throughout your site in one page. All right. And then we have the maintenance module in Fix CMMS. This is where you can see all the open work orders. Right. And then in Fix, we have this asset management module where it arrange all your asset in a hierarchical order arrangement. All right. For instance, this is our site Selangor. Under that site, we can include some sort of warehouse or maybe some sort of workshop. And under that particular warehouse, we can include that particular equipment. So in this case, let me just click on the mobile crane, the one that we have requested just now as the client. Right. So when I click into this particular asset, it will redirect me. Fix will redirect me into the asset information screen. Right. So basically, you can see the name of the asset, the description, the code, the category, the QR code. The QR code is automatically generated by Fix, and then you can see the make, the model, the serial number, and all the basic information. And also, if you notice here, we can see that this asset is actually offline, and to be specific, it is leased to someone. Right. So if you see on this location of asset part, you can see that this particular mobile crane has been moved from this location to this client, and it is to be returned by 30 of March. And by right, this particular equipment should be available by 4th of April. Right. This is the general tab. Let me just go through briefly for all the tabs. All right. In Fix, we also have parts and bill of material tab. We also have a metering tab, metering and event tab. So in Fix, you can actually tag a reading and record it here. We have warranties. And then you can also keep your warranties here. And there is also a files tab. This is where you can upload any necessary documents that you might think might be relevant to this particular asset. For instance, like a picture, or maybe a user manual, a user guide. And you can also link any file from Mfiles, like warranties. This is actually something that have been shown in the previous session. So you can actually use Fix to do something like that. Link it to any document repository like Mfiles. And then you have the log tab. All right. In this log tab, it is also very interesting. You can pretty much see what's going on for this particular asset. So in this case, you have the activity log. This is basically the asset movement. And then you can see that we have one scheduled maintenance for this particular asset for every 10 kilometer. So in Fix, 10,000 kilometer. So in Fix, we can configure scheduled maintenance. And then we can see all the work order history, part supplies consumed for this particular equipment, and the work order log and asset offline tracker. So that's pretty much about the log tab. Right, so back to our demonstration. Since the asset is available on 4th of April, then by right, before we hand over to the new customer, we need to perform some sort like a general inspection when this equipment have been returned by the current customer. So in order to generate that kind of general inspection work order, what we can do is you can click on the more button here, and you can click create work order. All right, so this is just I'm just showing you how to create work order in Fix. And then you can choose, this is the work order administration screen. You can choose the maintenance types. Maybe you can choose preventive. Priority, you can set it to medium. And then suggested completion date, maybe you can put a day before the handover. All right. And then you can put summary of issue like a general inspection after return by customer. All right. And then in the labor task, in the labor task tab, this is where you can key in your labor task. You can, the first way is you can key in all the labor tasks manually one by one. The second way is you can utilize this task group feature. So I'm just going to choose one task group, which is a mobile crane written by customer inspection. So whenever I choose this, it will generate all the predefined labor tasks. So what I just need to do is I just need to assign it, for instance, like to a technician group, and it will assign technician to all the tasks. All right, and then I just click OK. All right, and then maybe I wanted to add one more labor task manually. So what I can do, I can just press this add button here. Then I can put something like change asset rotation to a new client. All right, so I can just assign it to technician group. Then I just click OK. All right, so whenever I already prepare the labor task and prepare the general information, then I can just click save. So whenever I click save, the work order will be created and the technician will be notified. Yep, so that is basically what you can do and Fix, and this is pretty much some of the idea that you can utilize whenever you're managing your lease request. All right, so since it is available in during that duration, so let me just go back into Mfiles. All right, so this is the screen just now. So since it is available, then I can proceed to the next step, which is, let me just expand this one, which is prepare agreement. Right. In order to prepare agreement, the easier way to do this is by using this button here, create list agreement. Then it will show you to use this template. In Mfiles, we have this template feature. I will explain it later. But in this case, I'm just use this template, asset list agreement template. All right, I just click next. And then you will be prompted with this metadata card properties. Some of the information will be keyed in automatically, and you just need to key in some of the information, right? So let me just key in like the payment method check, list request for, and then after everything is key in, then I can just click create. All right. So if you go to the lease agreement view, you can see that this is a document that you have created just now. So if I double click this document, all right, it will automatically open Microsoft Word for you because Mfile works really great with Microsoft Word. And if you notice here, you can see that all the information that you have keyed in just now will be automatically populated in this document. So this is the power of using Mfile's template. All right, so you don't have to actually create the document, key in the information one by one manually from scratch. All right, so after everything is okay, after you verify everything is okay, you can just save the document. All right, and you just click save, check in the document. All right, and then for this particular agreement object, you can send it for approval. All right, then after you send it for approval, if you expand this particular document, you will notice that it is actually creating a new assignment object, right? So if you click on this assignment object, if you read that particular assignment, you can see that this particular assignment is assigned to Alex Kramer. Maybe Alex Kramer is the manager where he needs to approve the lease agreement before you hand over it to the client. All right, so we can do something like that in Mfiles. So if I log in Mfiles as Alex Kramer, all right, so I'm logging to Mfile as Alex Kramer. So if I just refresh the screen, all right, just give a few moments, you can see that there is a new assignment, there is a new task that is assigned to you. And in Mfile, we have this assign to me section where you can see all the tasks that have been assigned to you, right? So if you expand this one, you can see what are the object or what are the documents that is attached to this assignment. So pretty much when you see this document, you can understand that, okay, you need to approve this document. All right, so you can just click this document and you can just click preview without having to double click or go into the document itself. And then you can just have a quick review on this particular with this preview section. And then after, if you see that everything is okay, then you can just approve this assignment by clicking this tick button, mark approve. All right, and you can see you can give any comment. All right, and then when you click save, it will ask for your credential because we are now using the electronic signature in Mfiles. So you need to key in your password. So when I click sign, this particular assignment has been approved, and if you can see here, Mfile will automatically create the signature object which records all the information. This is very useful, let's say, for your audit purposes. All right. So if I go back into the as the system administrator is now, all right. So if I refresh the screen, all right, if I refresh the screen, and you can see that this particular document is now approved. Right, so what I can do next when the document is approved is, yes, we can send this approved document to the customers, but normally we manually convert it to PDF, right? Because we don't want the customer to change anything. But in Mfiles, whenever you, for instance, whenever I click send to customer, all right, it will convert the document as a PDF. So in Mfiles, we can convert it as a multi-file and generate a PDF as a separate file. So in this PDF, with this PDF, you can share it to your customer. So by the easier way to do it, by right click and share email and PDF and send as PDF via email. So a new window will be prompted out, and basically that particular PDF is automatically attached. Then you can just send it to your customer or send it to your client. All right, so assuming that I am the client and I already received that particular document. So let's say that this is the particular document. All right. So what I have to do is basically I just read everything. Everything is okay. Then I can just put my signature saying that I approve the agreement. All right. So let me just put my signature here. Then I just click and I just save the document. Right. Maybe I can rename the document. Right. All right. So this is the signed document. So instead of replying my previous email as the client, what I can do, I can just utilize the Hubshare module where I can just add file to this list agreement widget. All right, then I can just browse. Then I can just choose that particular document that have been signed. So we can utilize this upload feature in Hubshare as well. So there's no need for your client to reply to your email, right? So if you go back into Mfile as the admin just now, right? So if you go to the home screen, all right. So you can see that this is the particular document that have been uploaded. All right. So and below here, this is actually the multi-file for the original document. So what you can do for better management, you can just drag and drop it into the multi-file so that the signed document will be attached together with the original document. All right. So once you have received the document, once you have received the signed agreement, what you can do next is you can set this particular lease agreement as active. All right. And then the status will change to active, and whenever the agreement is about to expire, it will automatically change the status to about to expire. This is just for the lease agreement. So you need to change also for the lease request. All right. So for the lease request, you can change it to delivery since the agreement has been activated. And then once the equipment have been delivered, you can change the status to delivered. All right. Then as the client, if you refresh your status here, you can see that the status is updated from time to time. So this is how you can utilize Hubshare to track your requests. And yep, that's all for me. And this is how we utilize our unified solution to manage our list requests. Yep, I think that's all for me. And I will be handing over the session to Jenna for the Q&A session. Over to you, Jenna.
All right. Thank you, Takif. So anyone, do you have any questions? I can see that there is one question over here. Okay. Can you show a demo on how asset in your system impact financial system in terms of asset depreciation value? All right, Shah, would you like to take on this question?
Yep, sure. So at the moment, we do not have any demo prepared for the demo prepared related to a financial system. But what I can say here, as for your asset depreciation, to get those information in the CMMS, we will have to customize a report for that. We have to customize a report given that all your data needed to create that asset depreciation report is available within the CMMS. So yeah, asset depreciation can be, you can get those information in the form of report in the CMMS. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Shah. Also, we have another question here. Can the CMMS and DMS be integrated with our current ERP system, which is SAP? Shah, would you like to answer that?
I can take
Okay.
over the session. So basically, integration with SAP. So in terms of Mfiles, we actually have the available connector to SAP. So to answer your question, yes, we can integrate to SAP, and also for CMMS, fixed CMMS, we can also integrate to SAP as well, because we have this open API thing and also the available connector. Yep.
All right, thank you, Takif. We also have another question over here. Can Mfiles and Fix integrate with our website instead of Hubshare? Takif, would you like to take on that question?
All right, that is actually a very good question. So as I mentioned earlier, both for Mfiles, we have these custom API, which are using something like a REST service, something like that. And also for fixed CMMS, we have open API. So so to answer your question, yes, we can integrate with your website, given that your website can also communicate with Mfiles, the DMS, and also fixed CMMS. Yeah, so yep, to answer your question, yes, but it depends on the communication between your system and also our system.
All right. Okay. Thank you. So we can take on one more question. If anyone has any other questions, please feel free to type in the question section. Okay, so I think we'll take on this one more question. Okay, so the question is, will the maintenance or the technician team need to access the DMS system in order to get their hands on the information of the asset they are currently working on? How do we set it in such a way that the maintenance team can view all the information in the CMMS system only? So I think this question is for you, Takif. Would you like to answer this?
All right, so basically the question is how we wanted to see all the information within the CMMS, right?
Yes, correct. Without having the technician team having access to the document management system.
All right, so in fixed CMMS, if we recap back the demonstration that both me and Shah have shown earlier, we have this file tab in this particular work order section. Right, so in this file tab, there are two ways that you can actually utilize this file tab. The first way is you can directly upload the files to that file tab and upload it into CMMS, so that whenever that work order is generated, your technician can just refer back to that file attachment. So there's no need for you to go back to your DMS and etc. That's the first way. The second way is maybe right now you have some sort of DMS. For instance, maybe you have Mfiles to manage all your documents if you wanted to have a control documents, right? So what we can do, you can actually link that particular files. For instance, like your manuals, like your warranties, you can link that particular file to that particular file tab in fixed CMMS. So whenever your technicians click on that link, it will eventually display that particular document in DMS. So there's no need for them to manually go into the DMS and search for that particular document. Yep.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Takif. So it has already 7 minutes past 12. So we would like to thank everyone. Yep, everyone who has attended this webinar, and we hope you find it informational and beneficial for you and also your company. So should you like to discuss more on this, or you have any additional questions after the session, please feel free to contact us from the information shared on the screen. So the copy of this webinar will be shared on our website and our YouTube channel soon. So that's all from us. Thank you again. Stay safe, everyone, and have a good day. Bye.